dedication and commitment. Like, you can't just be regular. You gotta do what you're doing every single day, and you can't take no days off because, like, if I want to be the best I can, then I can't just do regular things.
I got one more question for you. You think you could beat Coach Crumb in one-on-one?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
I think we should. I think that should be a little.
I already beat him in the shooting contest.
Oh, for real?
The last time we shot.
Okay.
So
Put that.
we're lost.
You ready for that, Coach?
Yeah, no, he thinks he could play. Like, I mean, and this is just the problem that we have in life, right? Is that what happens as a kid, you get like a recognition from another person, and then in your mind, you have rationalized yourself to say, "Nah, I can beat Crump." What's up, fam? It's your boy Chris Crump
And Chizzy.
and this is the Boy Man King podcast where the journey continues.
Yes, it does.
Man, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good. How you feeling?
I'm liking that fit, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the fit, man.
I
and the J's to match.
I stayed for a little drip. You know what I'm saying?
And speaking of drip,
we got my boy Drizzy.
we have a
Drake.
special edition
Yes,
youth
sir.
experience where
Yes,
we got
sir.
our young bull Drake in the building. Drizzy,
Thank you.
drip.
Mr.
Yeah.
Kucharik.
Thank you for having me.
That's how. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah, Kucharik.
Okay, great. We got Drizzy Drake.
Welcome
in
to the
building, man.
podcast, man.
Welcome.
Boy Man
Good
King.
to see you.
Thank
Where
How
the
you-
journey continues, man.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
All right, man.
I'm
It's good to
excited
have
be
you
on the
man.
podcast.
Yes, sir. It's good to have you on our show, man. Let's start off. Get right into it. We got Drake here, man. So tell us a little bit about Drizzy Drake. Hopefully, hopefully your boy Rick, the other Drake, hasn't really coined this Drizzy.
No,
moniker.
I'm him.
But you're here.
Yeah,
Okay. Let's tell us a little bit about Drizzy Drake.
Yeah,
man.
one thing about side note, one thing his mama said, I always named him Drake before there was a Drake. So
Okay.
Yeah, because
okay.
he was on Degrassi and that. Like, he wasn't really Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
when I was born. So
yeah.
Okay.
I'm him.
So you get that Drizzy Drake moniker.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
All right, man. So tell us a little bit about Drake. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about how you actually arrived here in Atlanta. Give us a little bit about your story, your background story, where you grew up, how you grew up, what your family life is. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but just tell us a little bit about Drake, man.
Yeah, so, like, it started off, I was born in Canada.
Okay.
And I lived there until I was about 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I moved to Bermuda because my dad had got a job in Bermuda.
Mhm.
And then I lived there until I was 13.
Mhm.
And I left to go to boarding school in Virginia for basketball.
Mhm.
So I played football, like soccer, all my life.
Right.
And I really enjoyed it. But then, like, I found basketball at like 9 or 10. And I started working out with Coach Crump.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. And, like, in Bermuda, it's like basketball for fun. It's not like an opportunity like you have in America. So I like needed to get out. So I went to a boarding school with like a lot of like push on my mom to get me there. Because at first she didn't want me to leave. Obviously I was 13. Like, whose mom wants their son to leave at such a young age? But yeah, so I went to boarding school in Virginia when I was 13. And I didn't like it. Like, it was cool for basketball, but, like, I just didn't really like the whole boarding aspect. So I think it was January when I came to visit here for, like, a weekend, and I just wanted to check it out. Like, I knew what I was doing. Like, I wanted to come here because I seen there was an extra room. I was like, maybe I could stay here.
Yeah.
And then after, like, 3 months of convincing my mom to try to get me here, my mom and Coach Crump was talking, and they got me to land here. And so I've been here since 2 years ago.
So let's just be clear that we know you love ball.
Yeah.
There are some ballers around this table. You know, there are some ballers around this table.
No, who's not?
Let's. Who would you say you shaped your game after? Who would you say
Like,
is your inspiration?
like an NBA player?
Like an NBA player. Like
Oh,
who would
Luka.
you?
Luka's my favorite
Luka
player.
dunks.
Yeah, Luka.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite player.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
That's
and
what's up.
I just want to get to, like, I just find your adolescence fascinating. You know, I just can't imagine being 13 and convincing my mom to send me to another country to live by myself.
Yeah.
Right, and particularly in my culture, like, that's like shunned. Like, you couldn't go to no black mama and be like, hey, you know, your son's gonna go. Not even processing that.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it's a situation with you. You were just so headstrong about what you wanted to do, why you wanted to do it. You said it took you months for you to convince your mom.
Yeah.
And I know your mom, and I know how this is like particular with her. Like, like, listen, if we're gonna do this, you gotta call me every day. You gotta stay on top of your grades.
Yeah.
And I love to see the relationship you and your mom. I find it fascinating that you don't went to this country because you missed out that you went to England.
Oh yeah, during quarantine.
During quarantine. So
Yeah.
during quarantine, you was in Virginia. No, you came here 2 years ago. So you was here when the pandemic happened, right?
No, so it was March when I left to go to England.
Yeah.
Because my stepdad was in England, and that's where my mom was, and my sister was there as well. So I went to England, and I stayed there until like July, and then I came here in July, and yeah.
Okay. But your mom is processing a pandemic. Her son is traveling from Canada to England to America. And you were just very, headstrong. But I see you guys talk every night, man, and I think it's beautiful because correct me if I'm wrong. I would say you have a stronger relationship than most kids that say with their mom every single day.
Oh yeah, for sure, like 100%.
Yeah. Because I'm listening. Like, you guys don't even have like just check-in conversations. It's just like
It's
life.
just called like whenever, like just
regular conversation.
Just regular conversation. I call her at school, like.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, and like
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Every night they just talk. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'm like, he's up talking, and to give context, I have a basketball program in Bermuda that we brought to the States, but then so many kids from Bermuda was like, look, I want an opportunity. So I told Drake's mom that, hey, we are trying to pilot an initiative where, if it works out, that we will be an exchange program for the kids to stay here, live here, and go to school and play basketball. And Drake has been, and congrats to you, recently made first team all region for his school, first year in varsity. You know what I mean? Been going to some showcases, been recognized as top performer at the showcase that you've been to, and just recently worked out with another AAU team. So you've been busy, man, but you've been working, man. And I want to kind of pick out some pieces because I really want people to grab this. So you do the travel. How has it been traveling and being away from your immediate family since you was 13 years old?
Yeah, it's at the start it was a lot harder than it, like, especially at boarding school, because like I was like here in Atlanta I have like a family environment because I'm with like you guys, so it's like it just feels like a family. But in boarding school it was hard because it was like no one around me, and like it was just like just me by myself, so it was hard with the family aspect there. But I was talking to someone like last week about like how long have you gone like without seeing your like mom or your dad or something like that, and they was like, oh, only a few days, and they were like asking me, and I was like months, but like for me it feels normal now because like that's just what I do. So
Right.
Yeah.
How has that affected your relationship with your sister? How's that play out?
I think it's made us like connect like a lot more. Like I call my sister now all the time, and I talk to her all the time now. So I think it's helped us a lot. Like when I had left Bermuda, like we weren't on like the best like connection. Like we always used to fight and stuff like that. But I think as we got older and I go visit them like often, then we get to like connect.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, bro. And I mean, so let's talk about your transition as a hooper. You playing soccer. You got like, so all right. You know what I mean?
That was tough. That was tough.
I think you had 1 foot. I mean, and so they put you in the back to say, hey, just beat up on people. You know what I'm saying? What, you playing soccer? Also football. You know what I mean, for the international audience.
No, it's called football, bro.
Yeah,
it's
football.
called. We don't call it. We call it football. Bro.
Football.
We call it football. Take it easy. Anyway, go ahead. You're playing football.
Yeah.
And what you was playing for a popular club, you doing your thing. What was the aha to make you say, not only are you going to play basketball, but you're going to make a hard pivot to focus? Because it wasn't like you was playing basketball. You played football every single year, almost every single month of the year from you was a little boy, you little baby almost.
Yeah.
So what was that aha moment to make that pivot and focus on basketball?
I think for me it's just like when I want to do do something, if I'm doing like anything, I want to be like the best at it. And I love the basketball like more than I had loved football. Like I loved football my whole life, but then I got introduced to basketball and I just loved it like way more than I love basketball way more than football. So like I was just like I can't do both of these at the same. Like I know a lot of people say you could do multiple sports, but I wanted to just focus on one thing because I just wanted to be the best that I could be at it. So that's why.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kids out there that hoop, that play football. Tell us a little bit about that commitment in terms of your day-to-day commitment to your body, to your education, to your craft that will set you apart. So if I'm looking, if I have a son who's interested in playing football and basketball, what would you say to that individual so that he can actually maximize his potential in that sport? So just tell us a little bit about your day-to-day experience and how you develop yourself, not just as an athlete, but also as a young man and as a student. Talk a little bit about that for us.
Yeah, I think it's all about like dedication and commitment. Like you can't just be regular. You got to do what you're doing every single day, and you can't take no days off really. Mm-hmm. And you got to have someone like for me, I have Jamel who keeps me like accountable, who holds me accountable. So like if I'm not doing said thing at this workout or like I'm not doing my yoga in the morning, then like he's gonna get on me about it because like if I want to be the best I can, then I can't just do regular things. So that's how I think.
It's that commitment is huge because it's one thing to have a drive. It's one thing to have a desire to play a sport. My son runs track.
Yeah.
He runs track locally. Just started his freshman year, and my constant narrative to him is you have to put in your extras.
Yeah.
So for you to be great, you can't just show up and just go to practice for your 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's getting your reps in, not just in your bowl, not also with your diet. So whatever you put your time into, as you very well know, you'll become an expert at.
Yeah.
And some of our young people, as we know, put their time into other things. What's kept you from staying off that negative path, so to speak?
Oh, my mom and my sister. Like, that's, like, easy for me. Because I don't think that, like, the reason why I stay so focused, I don't be going out to parties and doing all this extra stuff is because, like, of what my mom and my sister had to, like, go through to get me to this position. So, like, my mom didn't spend all this money and move to 3 different countries to, like, for me to be going out to parties and not be, like, just focusing on basketball every single day. So, really all I do is play basketball and work out. So, that's why.
Yeah, man.
That's good foundation. Your parents have actually done a really good job with you, man. And talk about, you've had a 4.0 through your entire high school career, right?
Yeah.
Talk about your academic focus. So how can you be so dedicated to a craft without your mom and dad and at the same time have academic excellence? What's kind of been your secret there?
Not getting caught up in any other thing. Like, it's really just basketball. Well, it's school first because I'm a student athlete, and then basketball. So I get my work done. Like, I've never had any, like, up until, like, 8th grade or after 8th grade, I really never had problems with school. Like, I used to get in trouble a little bit when I was in 6th and 7th, but, like, it was really just, if I know I want to stay here, I got to get my academics up. And also for colleges, like, you can't just be a good basketball player. Like, you gotta have school too.
Because the reality is, man, you have from a numbers perspective, you have a greater chance of being successful academically than you do as a professional athlete.
And it's thousands and thousands of kids.
Want to
play basketball, so the separation is
for sure
with school.
For sure. So you always, because you can get injured tomorrow.
Yeah.
And never play basketball ever again. And that's one thing that I need young people to understand. And that's something that you should try to convey to young people, that you can get injured. And if you don't have the academics to fall back on, or the values, or the character, that could really, really adversely affect, how the choices that you make, man.
Yeah.
So that's extremely commendable and extremely important to continue to just be on top of your academics, to be on top of your game, but also recognize that this is a blessing and it's a gift to be able to do what you love every day, all day, and it's important to continue to have options and explore those options. So we talk a lot about athletics. So let's say worst case scenario. Let's say you don't get to play basketball. What does Drake look like from an academic perspective? What would you want to get into? What type of industry would you want to get into?
Business. Like, I want to do stocks and stuff like that. I want to be an entrepreneur, like what Coach Crump's doing right
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of weird for me because I'm your coach and your mentor, but you talked about the boarding school experience compared to our experience, and I asked you about it because I'm using you as kind of like my trial and error in this game as well. Well, what has been your experience living with a family, and particularly a family of a different background? I think you help a lot of people, particularly teenagers, see that we're more similar than we are different.
Yeah. I think it's like how open-minded I am from living in Bermuda, because in Bermuda it's like it's so small and you're with like all different types of cultures. So it was really and playing football. Like most of the kids that play football is like African American, so like it makes sense that like I'm with like different types of races and like Filipino kids at my school, white people, black people, like all different types. So it really doesn't affect me. But to see like kids at my school like are so like narrow-minded, like in their little bubble, like their little like Loganville, Georgia bubble. It's like it just it makes me feel grateful that I had a different experience growing up, so that I could like be in different scenarios without being like affected by the culture or race by anyone else. Because I don't think it matters at all.
Yeah. And what were some of the key things that you find that are valuable traits that you've taken by living with our family in particular? Like what are some things that you feel like you find that to be valuable now that wasn't talked about, that wasn't discussed, it's not basketball, but just being around us that like you appreciate that you have here?
I think taking my like religion more seriously, like how we do Sunday morning talks, like every Sunday, like it really helps me to like tone in on that, because I wasn't doing that when I wasn't here. I was just like going through my daily things, but like having that accountability, and you're on the prayer line every morning, and you drive me to school every morning, so I hear all the stuff, and like I'm listening the whole time. So yeah, I get that.
Where do you think the disconnect is for young people as it relates to religion, as it relates to Christianity, as it relates to the belief? What do you think it is? How would you encourage your contemporaries or your friends to say, hey, man, you should try this out, man. It's dope. I'm a regular guy. Like, what would you say?
It's getting caught up in all different stuff, like alcohol, drugs, sex, like all that stuff. Like, it's just getting caught up in that. And, like, I have Coach come to hold me accountable with that stuff. So it doesn't really affect me. And I'm so focused on basketball that I don't have time for none of the other stuff. So.
Do you feel like you miss any of that stuff?
Because
you're a teenager. Let's keep it real. Like, you're at that age.
I sometimes I do, like, I'll see, like, I'll be in bed and I'll see, like, people's, like, Snapchat stories or Instagram stories, like, of them at a party. And I'm like, man, that kind of looks fun. But then, like, then I just think about, like, how I got here and why I'm here. Like, I'm not here to, like, I could, like, what you say all the time, you could party and, like, drink and smoke, like, for the rest of your life. Like, that's going to be there until you're dead. So, you only have, like, this set amount of time to be what you want to be. And for me, it's a basketball player. So.
Sure.
Yeah, man, man, bro, I gotta tell you, man. This is definitely a time to give you flowers, man. Yeah. To see a 16-year-old young man left your parents, living with a different family, different background, but you're just so focused, man. It's so inspiring to even us adults. You know what I mean? Just to see like what people are just capable of when they put their mind to it, man. And you definitely embody that. But now you get a chance to hang around some men. You get a chance to see me be in all of my glory. You get to see Coach Crump behind the scenes. As you think about who you want to be as a man, what are some of the things that you say, look, when I become a man, I'm going to make sure A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, or I'm not going to do this and that. Like, what are some things when you think about you becoming a man that really resonate with you?
Taking care of people and putting people before me, like you do all the time. Like, I always see you, like, with little things like giving someone an extra like slice of pizza, or like just not getting like what you want. Like you always say, like I would want to come home to a movie, steak, red wine, and like asparagus, and like you don't get that because you gotta put other people before yourself. So that's how I want to be. I don't want to be self-centered. Like I want to make sure my mom's straight, make sure my dad and my sister's straight, and then if I have a family. When I have a family.
When you have a family, man. But we need men like you to be husbands and fathers in this world, man. So, yeah, man. And I told you how many kids you gotta have. 5. You gotta have a starting 5, man. I need to come out, man. You know what I'm saying?
5 kids.
Yeah, let's go, bro. Because here's the thing that I think is dope about our relationship is that I don't I mean, you can answer this, but do I really gas you about the importance of you making it to the NBA?
No, you always talk about just being a man. Like,
Yeah.
it's never. I mean, it is about basketball, but like it's more about like the life lesson that you could get from basketball. Like basketball is just like a paid way to be like a man, because you're only gonna have basketball for a certain amount of time. Like, but then you're gonna be a man for the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
And young people your age, that's an important message for them to understand. Like you said, you're only gonna be probably a basketball player for a short period of your life, but you're gonna be a man, a father, a husband, a lot longer than you'll be, an athlete.
Yeah.
And so for young people coming up, they need to understand that the choices you make as a youngster have far-reaching consequences and have far-reaching benefits when you become a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's understated and undervalued. So I definitely want to applaud you for being able to be in a space to kind of look in the future and say, excuse me, this is the type of life that I want to have for myself going into the future. I'm going to make choices today that could positively affect my future. It's not to say you're going to make all the right choices. It's not going to say you're perfect. It's not going to say that you're infallible and you don't make mistakes. You're a young man coming into manhood, man. So I want to give you your flowers for that. That's amazing.
Yeah. What's some final thoughts, man, you want to leave us with that, like, if you had to share your message to the world, your story to the world, like, what you want to leave with everybody?
Just to chase what you want to do, like, and really like enjoy the path. Like, I feel like I got caught up a lot on like just being so focused that I didn't really like enjoy some of the stuff. And that's not to say like going out to party and stuff like that. It's just like enjoying where you are, like being grateful for the space that you're in. So I say like chasing your dreams and goals, but in like being grateful while doing it.
Hey,
I got one more question for you. You think you could beat Coach Crum in one-on-one?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
I think that should be a little.
I already beat him in the shooting contest.
Oh, for real?
The last time we shot.
Okay. So you heard it on Boy Man King.
Yeah,
It sounds like a challenge. We're gonna have to record that and put that as
we're live streaming it.
You ready for that, Coach?
Yeah, no, he thinks he could play. Like, I mean, and this is the problem that we have in life, right? Is that what happens as a kid, you get like a recognition from another person. And then in your mind, you have rationalized yourself to say, nah, I can beat Crump. That is not reality. You have to understand that.
You think it's scary? That sounds like fair talking.
No. I'm going to play him.
Okay.
And I'm going to beat him as I've always have.
Right.
His whole entire life.
Okay.
That's not going to change. And Drake knows that, and so do you. But since we want to add content to the episode, I get it. This is good kick, chuckles and giggles. I get it. So, but the reality is, and unfortunately, the same way I've always beat you, I will beat you again. Now, if you want to put that on public display, fine by me.
We're live streaming it.
Yeah. We're going to live stream it. So you heard it first.
Yeah.
Boy Man King, live stream. The journey continues. It may continue for one person, but it may end for somebody else.
Final thought of the day is that we really appreciate having this young man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, this is so needed. Man, I really pray that every high school get a chance to show this episode to your young people. Every middle school, show this episode to your young people, man, so they can see what's possible for you when you have, like he said, an open mind.
Sure.
So, man, we're grateful for you. He showed you that he's grateful for life. He's focused. He's doing his thing, and we're proud of you, man. It's the Boy Man King podcast, where the journey continues.
Yes, sir.
Drizzy, man, proud of you.
Thank you.